A Visigoth warrior stolen by aliens became one of the most dangerous heroes in comics, and somehow X-O Manowar is still a name many casual fans barely know. A man ripped out of the 5th century, fused with a sentient weapon called Shanhara, and thrown into a future that erased everything he loved. That story alone makes him impossible to ignore. If you're into comics and nerd content like this, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. X-O Manowar is Aric of Dacia, and what makes him work so well is that he never feels like a man who belongs in this world. He is a Visigoth warrior dragged out of the past and forced into a future that took everything from him. He is harsh, proud, and always carries himself like someone ready for battle. Shanhara gives him incredible power, but what really makes the character hit is Aric himself. Aric's story starts in the 5th century, when life was already defined by war long before aliens ever entered the picture. As heir to the Visigoths, he grows up in a brutal world where survival depends on strength, pride, and refusing to kneel. Then everything changes when the Vine take him from Earth and force him onto one of their colony ships, turning a born fighter into a captive who has every reason to hate them from the start. What makes that origin hit so hard is that Aric does not wait around for rescue. He fights, studies the enemy, and finally takes the one thing the Vine fear losing most, the X-O Manowar armor. Once he bonds with Shanhara, the balance of power completely changes. But the cruel twist comes after his escape, because when Aric makes it back to Earth, centuries have passed and the world he wanted to return to is already gone forever. X-O Manowar is not deadly just because he wears alien armor. Shanhara gives Aric flight, forearm energy cannons, and the ability to forge lightning weapons in the middle of a fight, including the blade that became one of his signature tools. It can also shift forms, even becoming a ring before reforming around him again. That means every battle feels like a trained conqueror carrying a living weapon into war. What makes X-O Manowar stand out is that his stories never feel like simple power fantasies. Aric is not a genius inventor, a billionaire, or a symbol polished for the public. He is a displaced king with a conqueror's mindset, trying to make sense of a future that feels alien even without the Vine. That tension gives the character weight, because every victory feels shaped by grief, pride, anger, and the instincts of a man born for war. If you want the version that best defines the character for modern readers, the 2012 series is still the strongest place to look. That run rebuilds Aric's origin, shows how dangerous Shanhara really is, and gradually turns him into one of the central figures of the Valiant universe. It also leads into major arcs like Planet Death and Armor Hunters, where X-O Manowar stops feeling like a cool concept and starts feeling like a force. The 2017 relaunch takes a different path and is one of the smartest evolutions the character has had. Matt Kindt and Tomas Giorello push Aric into an off-world war and let him grow through arcs like Soldier, General, Emperor, and Visigoth. Then the 2020 series by Dennis Hopeless and Emilio Lizo brings him back with a sharper modern edge, while later books like X-O Manowar Unconquered prove the character still has real weight in Valiant's lineup. A really fun X-O Manowar fact is that he once shared a video game with Iron Man, which tells you how big the character felt at his peak. He debuted in 1992, his original run sold over 8 million copies, and the series featured work from names like Bob Layton and Joe Quesada. That is a wild legacy for a character many casual comic fans still barely know today. If someone wants to start reading X-O Manowar today, the easiest entry point is still the 2012 series by Robert Venditti and Carrie Nord. That run gives you the full origin, the bond with Shanhara, and the version of Aric of Dacia that shaped modern Valiant. After that, the 2017 relaunch is the next best step, because it expands his world more, while the 2020 series and X-O Manowar Unconquered work best once you already understand the character. What makes X-O Manowar worth talking about is that he never feels like a safer version of a bigger hero. Aric of Dacia is rougher, angrier, and more tragic than that. His stories are built on conquest, slavery, survival, and the shock of waking up in a future that erased everything he once knew. That gives the character a heavier emotional core than people usually expect when they first see the armor and assume it is all about power. That is why X-O Manowar has stayed one of Valiant's most important characters, from his original 1992 debut to the 2012 relaunch, the 2017 relaunch, the 2020 series, and later books like X-O Manowar Unconquered. He looks powerful on the surface, but what really keeps him interesting is that beneath all that power, Aric still feels like a warrior trying to win a war that time already stole from him before he ever had the chance to go home. X-O Manowar proves that some of the wildest and most powerful stories in comics still come from names many fans overlook. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which Valiant character I should cover next here on Nerd Society.